Well, in the first place, this is the first time I'm participating in this platform. But that doesn't mean I'm new in the institution. This is my first year as the Commissioner General, but I've not been active because I had a surgery, so my deputy has been actively representing me here. But otherwise, I'm deeply honored to be hosted by my brother, the Honorable Commissioner General of the Kenya Revenue Authority, and the team here, and all the distinguished Commissioner Generals who are here, and the respective senior management team of the respective Revenue Authority. My remark will depart a little bit from the conventional remarks. And this is because, first, I come from a country which has been shrouded by a number of narratives. And as a result, there are nuances that have been downplayed, that have not been considered. So I will be spending much of my time to try to give you some perspectives, which I think will be able to inform any decision-making processes that is going to be undertaken from here. But also, it will be able to inform some of our reservations as Revenue Authority of the Republic of South Sudan. But all in all, I bring greetings from the entire community of South Sudan Revenue Authority, and also I'm here with a big delegation who are members of the technical committee, and they have always been active. So I will not be preempting most of the technical aspect of that. But Honorable Commissioner Generals and the distinguished participants here, first and foremost, on behalf of the management of South Sudan Revenue Authority, and on behalf of the Ministry of Finance and Planning of the Republic of South Sudan, which is our direct supervisor, I really want to express that we are deeply honored to participate in this particular platform under this theme, enhancing tax compliance through effective community engagement in digital era. I want to really say that the South Sudan Revenue Authority is very much privileged to be a part of this regional community of revenue authorities. We have often learned a great deal from our constant engagement in the EAC in general, and as well as our engagement in this particular platform. I believe we have adopted and even domesticated many resolutions and recommendations which have come out of the various engagements in this platform. However, because of the inbuilt circumstances we have in our country, we have also made stay of application in situations where we recognize that there are still challenges domestically because of either contradiction with our legal frameworks, which are still under development, or because the overall conditioning variables in the country do not allow, at least for now. However, South Sudan Revenue Authority continues to make a number of strides. Honorable Commissioner Generals, today we're here once again as South Sudan Revenue Authority with a humble intention of wanting to learn. And that's why we're here. We want to learn from you, and particularly from the sisterly authorities that have already evolved for decades and established robust institutions, systems, and processes in place. The South Sudan Revenue Authority was established in 2016 by a parliamentary act, so you can see what I'm talking about here. We have therefore come here today to learn, and we will continue to carry along the spirit of wanting to learn as we continue with this engagement. But in the process, we are also willing to share some of our unique experiences as we have continued to develop our authority. And recently, I was honored to host my brother, the Commissioner General of Kenya Revenue Authority, who came to South Sudan to benchmark with us on a few systems that we are able to put in place, and that is a great honor. Honorable Commissioner Generals and distinguished participants here, our need to learn and collaborate has urged us to go beyond this multilateral engagement that we have had to even seek specific engagements with sisterly authorities, as illustrated by the signing of the Memoranda of Understanding with Kenya Revenue Authority and Uganda Revenue Authority. Now, during the signing of these MOUs, I've often reiterated that these undertakings are not only fulfillment of some of the strategic initiatives of our 5-year strategic plan, but they are simply critical frameworks which pave ways for deeper engagement, given the critical needs that we have. So the MOUs are therefore not substitute or replacement of the existing multilateral engagement within the East African community or within other organizations such as the African Tax Administration Forum. Today, we have again gathered here as representatives of our various authorities. Our gathering is no doubt driven by expectations as members of East African community and also as individual representatives of our respective authorities and countries. So, while we wait for the presentations of the various technical committees, I just want to take this opportunity to reiterate a few things which I alluded to earlier on. Number one, we, as members of South Sudan Revenue Authority, we fully support the agenda of achieving the ideals and idea of a single custom territory, and in an event South Sudan Revenue Authority is not fully ready because of other circumstances beyond the South Sudan Revenue Authority, we shall always opt for some reservation or stay of application in specific areas and defined areas. On the whole, South Sudan Revenue Authority expects that this continuous engagement will assist South Sudan Revenue Authority to address the multiple challenges that have shrouded the management and operations, particularly of custom operations at the various ports in the region and during the transiting of cargo destined to South Sudan and even beyond. It is a common knowledge that South Sudan Revenue Authority has faced multiple challenges at various ports caused by imposition of unauthorized barriers by multiple actors. Cargo destined to South Sudan have either been held or delayed by unauthorized actors. Many times custom bonds, documents have been tampered with and altered. Specifics have been altered. Cargoes have been diverted, misdirected, and above all, underdeclared. So, the area of custom operation must always take a center stage in the various engagement, and particularly this one. Number two, South Sudan Revenue Authority is a critical stakeholder. Now, there are so many risks to take when operating in some parts of our country and our region for that matter. However, South Sudan still offers so many opportunities in East Africa, and South Sudan is an important actor that must not be ignored and undermined. Therefore, South Sudan and South Sudanese people are important partners in the region because they have so many opportunities to offer. The challenges of insecurity, poor infrastructure, etc., that hamper trade, transport, and are short-lived because the government of the Republic of South Sudan and all its agencies are doing all it takes, and it's just a matter of time. Number three, there are obvious and complex surges in digital occurrences that our countries are already getting themselves into, and which are already having knock-on effects on all operations of the government. And this informed the theme of this particular gathering. Just to give you some few statistics, not to bore you. You know, in my country alone by 2022, 23.1% of the population had mobile connection, and the internet penetration rate was about 8%. And all this was said to be experiencing a growth rate of 3% annually. This was in 2022, so you can imagine what it is now. This continuous surge of complex digital platform and operation has pushed markets, businesses, trade to migrate very fast to digital spaces. Now, for us, these digital economic spaces present opportunities, but they also present huge challenges to our respective revenue authorities. Digital markets, businesses, and trades are increasingly becoming less visible and elusive. These digital markets, businesses, and trades, they even transcend international boundaries, and they tend to undermine and downplay regional and international borders. All in all, the digital market, businesses, and trade spaces are one of the nightmares of our tax administration and tax operations. In all this, the most critical question worth raising are, how can a tax administration such as ours maintain control and visibility at all time of all these complex and abstract digital spaces that have migrated beyond our reach? How can a tax administration maintain sight digitally of cargoes, goods that are moving across regional and international borders? And for us, the simple answer to this obvious question is that any contemporary tax administration and operation must have leverage over digital capabilities. And above all, enhance digital linkages, updates, and interoperability. There is basically a dire need for digital integration within the region and within the international bodies, and interoperability even between governments, given the fact that many government functions and institutions are actually moving, shifting more and more towards digital spaces. So South Sudan Revenue Authority therefore expects that we, as sister revenue authorities, must all work hard to create the necessary condition for our respective revenue authorities to leverage over digital capabilities. This requires sisterly support, sharing and exchange of capabilities, and above all, synchronization of capabilities that can interface easily with each other, that can talk to each other. Number 4, South Sudan is a country which is still in transition because of all the obvious reasons that I mentioned earlier on. Today, South Sudan is in the process of developing permanent constitution. So you can imagine what that means in order to replace the transitional constitution. Many government structures are being reviewed. This will immensely slow down our engagement either in acceding to the existing legal frameworks in the region or adopting some statutory requirements because of the concerns that I raised before and that are challenging the fact that we need to anchor some of these statutory provisions back on a permanent constitution of the Republic of South Sudan, which may subsequently be adopted. Distinguished participant and Bwana CG, all in all, South Sudan Revenue Authority comes here and will continue to participate as it supports fully the ideals for which this platform was created. And I really want to thank you, Honorable Commissioner General, the Kenya Revenue Authority, for hosting us. And we always look forward for fruitful deliberation and adoption of relevant recommendations and resolutions. And once again, thank you, and may God bless all of you. Thank you.